Hey everybody! I moved to an abandoned tree nursery not too long ago, and since we moved here, the chainsaws have been working a lot harder, and I have to sharpen them and maintain them. So I thought by sharing this video and my method, y'all could chime in and either offer suggestions for improvements or tell me about your methods, or just if you think my method's impeccable, you can boost my ego. Previously, I sharpened by this method here. This is what I've seen the most, kind of a field sharpening. To tension the chain, I'll shove something in underneath it like that. And this chain actually was brand new, but I've noticed a couple of the teeth on it weren't sharpened, and apparently the guy that was operating it did not mind, but I'm going to do him a favor and sharpen this tooth here, which has never seen a grinder. So as you can see, I'm pushing on the tooth here, because if I don't, it chatters like crazy. It seems like the file is just vibrating along it and not really cutting as well as it could. And the tooth does heat up, and it kind of, if you do a whole chain, your thumb's kind of numb at the end of it. This works okay though. It seems like, you know, this bar isn't brand new, but that's just reality. I think it's pretty rare that I'll be sharpening on a brand new bar, and there's a lot of play in there. Well, that's pretty good. Maybe this step's unnecessary, but it puts up that little wire edge, and I usually get rid of that. Yeah, so that's real sharp now. Yeah, so that's how I've done it in the past. Usually the chainsaw is being used when I need to sharpen a chain, or it's in the barn and I don't want to walk out there. I just get a chain like this and I need to sharpen it. So I've been clamping it in my vise, and you see these lines at 60 degrees from parallel. And I use that. You can see this chain is it doesn't have much life left. This might be the last sharpening. But this I like better because the chain is held really securely, so it doesn't chatter. I actually usually just sharpen into the tooth. I read that's better, although it seems like the chrome engaging the file first might dull it a little faster. I like this a lot, but it is quite fiddly to move the chain through. It kind of gets hung up on the corners and it doesn't sit flat in there. So you have to, you know, futz with it a bit. And yeah, even there, so these end links are pretty solid, but this one's loose. And it chatters a little bit, less than it does in a chain bar, but it's not perfect. So I'll show you what I came up with next. I had this kind of vision in my head of a chain vise that would just hold a whole section of chain, and I could just go along and sharpen each tooth without having to hold it or anything. I'm not 100% happy with it, but it is the best I've come up with so far, I think. It's really just 2 plates of 1/2-inch steel. We have these clamps inside our bushings here. I'll give you the tour, the full tour. The plates had a little bit of bow in them from being sheared. So they're kind of preloaded like this, and when you clamp together, the center will clamp first, and it should compensate for the length of the bar. Clean that up a little bit. Come on. So we have in here these bushings machined, and they fit really nice into these holes. And these are variation of a Belleville washer. Maybe it is a Belleville washer. I don't know. They have the wavy pattern. That is a regular washer, Dylan. They go on like that. And then we have these effectively set screws to adjust the kind of clamping angle. And I found the position of these is really critical to kind of compensate for all of the undulations in the clamping bar here. So that goes together like that. Maybe it goes without saying, but these handles are, you can reset the position if they're in your way, like that. Chain goes in like that. Almost the best feature of this thing is that the chain just slides right around. I had to put in these little ears so that the chain wouldn't hang up at all, but it sure does advance nicely. And then there it is locked. Oops. So just like in this vise, there are some teeth are loose. It's still, there's a little bit of play in there. Maybe that one's a little loose. It's almost like the gauge itself varies a little bit or something. Let's not speculate, let's calibrate. This is a brand new chain, and I thought I would measure the gauge of these. I'm sure these have a name, the part that goes in the bar. Here we go. Alright, I'm just gonna keep measuring different parts of this. Just gonna have to trust that I'm using even pressure on the thimble here. See, isn't it a little thick right there? No. I would guess that wiggle I was noticing was more than a couple tenths and is due to the imprecision of my hot rolled steel. Oh, come on, there we go. It does seem like it varies maybe by a couple tenths, but it's not a lot. Of course, there's the dirt aspect as well. Look, see, that one's a little thinner. It's easily like maybe a half a thou variation on all of them. That would be enough to keep it from clamping tight for sure, but I think I would be satisfied with half a thou gap. I cut this piece of it's probably 8 thou thick or something, just cardstock. Punched the holes for the bushings. See how this works now. It's a little bit of sponge coefficient. That one's loose. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yeah. So we only lost one tooth on the edge there. Let's try this again. This one's loose, but oh my goodness. I'm keeping that piece of paper in there. I suspect it will wear out, but there's a small price to pay. I think this chain vise is in its finished state as far as I care, and I will use it until I come up with something better or one of you offers your suggestions. Hopefully this video inspires you to either comment or make your own chain vise or share your own creations on YouTube. Thanks for watching. My hands are all covered in anti-seize. I don't know why the maker of this puts anti-seize on everything. Probably should just use some clear grease.